Hello friends, welcome back to the shop. Today is Sunday, July 15th, and it's a rainy, thunderstormy kind of day here in southeastern PA. My poor little dog Thatcher is just beside herself because she doesn't like thunder or fireworks or any of that sort of thing. Isabel, her sister, doesn't care. But the rain is welcome because it's been hot. It's been very hot, so it's nice. It's cooled it off a bit and give the grass a bit of a break and such. So anyway, I've got a lot of stuff to talk about today, a lot of stuff to show you, and this is probably going to be a long one, so feel free to skip forward or buckle in. But if you hang on to the end, you're going to see a couple of new pipes, and you're going to see something that I'm planning to do a series on for the foreseeable future that I think you'll find interesting. So this morning I'm smoking. This is a pipe that I got from Danny Shore's collection, the sale that he had a month or so ago. And it doesn't have any markings on it other than I think it says genuine briar somewhere. But it's a really interesting shape. Sort of custom built-esque, but it's got that bulldog ring at the top, and really nice heavy pipe. I love it. The one thing I don't like about it is the stem is a bit thick, so I may at some point try to thin that out a bit. So it's actually not too heavy to clench, but it just my mouth doesn't close enough, so it just doesn't feel right. But smokes wonderfully. I started off smoking Haunted Bookshop in it and smoked that for a while. Danny cleans pipes so well that you actually have to break them in when you get them. You know, it smoked the Haunted Bookshop just fine, but what I'm smoking today is actually a sample of an aromatic blend called Founding Fathers from Cornell and Deal. This was a gift from my friend Christian, and I'll be talking more about Christian later in this video. Very good, very light aromatic. Doesn't have any chemical flavor to it at all. Interesting flavor profile. I believe the topping is supposed to be pomegranate. I'm getting what I think might be pomegranate. There's some sweetness, and there's definitely like a grapefruit undercurrent to it. It's a really interesting tobacco, and good quality leaf underneath that, burley based. Some Cavendish too, I think. Nice stuff, and it turns out this pipe just smokes this aromatic beautifully. So I may actually, you know, I don't smoke a lot of aromatics, but I do occasionally, and it would be nice to have a pipe or two that I know treats them well, and that I can keep for those. So this may wind up being that, but a really nice pipe. Quite enjoying it. So was on vacation. Took last week off as well, so sorry we haven't gotten the chance to chat, but it's good to be back, and it's good to be able to talk to you all once again. I've got a lot of stuff to tell you. A lot of things have happened in my pipe life that I want to share with you, and I got a lot of stuff to show you. So the first thing, I'm really excited about this. There's a guy on YouTube named Tim Pollock that many of you may know. He's a woodworker. He's got a really great woodworking channel. He used to make pipes. He actually has decided to stop making pipes and focus more on other woodworking efforts. But Tim had a really nice series that he's been doing for a couple of years now, called something like How to Make Pipes with the Minimal Tools, or the Bare Minimum Number of Tools, or something like that. And I really enjoyed it because Tim's a very good woodworker. He really understands his tools. He understands wood, and he doesn't just say you can use this tool to do it, but he actually explains why the tool works, and talks about the grain of the wood and the best way to position it, and it's just really good quality educational material in Tim's videos. So Tim recently decided to have a giveaway for some number of subs, and I'm sorry I don't remember what the number was. He had a friend who requested that he make him a pipe, and since he's not making them anymore, he agreed to do one last one. And he had enough wood that he decided, and this was a pipe made out of mulberry, he decided to make 2 additional ones and have a contest, a giveaway contest on his channel. And I thought, you know, I love Tim, I love his videos, I would really love to have one of his pipes, and I'm not going to have a chance to because he's not making them anymore. So I entered the contest. I don't enter a lot of contests, but this one was easy to enter. I just had to leave a comment, and son of a gun, I won. So now this pipe is what Tim calls a simple pipe, and you'll see it's not your standard you know, Dunhill-esque pipe, but it's actually a very simple, I don't mean this in a negative way, but primitive in aesthetic pipe, but it's beautiful. Look at that. So the wood is mulberry, and I'm hoping that you can pick out some of the grain on that. Just really a gorgeous looking pipe. And it's stamped on the bottom with Tim's initials, which I really appreciate, because this, you know, I'm really glad to have an example of his work in my collection. Tim's method of making these is really interesting, and he designed this pipe to be a simple sort of knock-around pipe that you can take anywhere and can use multiple stems in. So this stem is a wooden stem that Tim made out of a dowel, and he's drilled, I forget the dimensions, but he's drilled the draft hole here so that it accepts this size, but it also will accept other stems. You know, I haven't tried yet, but I'm guessing a Missouri meerschaum might fit in there. Certainly an acrylic or vulcanite stem, factory stem, could be sized to fit in it quite easily. Or you can just get another piece of wood and make another wooden stem. So it's very versatile. This is almost a disposable piece, I guess you could say. And the design that he came up with is really cool. So what he does is he drills this hole about 3/4 of the way through, but he doesn't drill the tobacco chamber all the way down. So the tobacco chamber actually stops above this hole. And then he pierces the distance between those two, and I don't know if I'll be able to flashlight this enough that you can see it. Yeah, so he puts 2 holes in the bottom of the tobacco chamber that meet up with this hole here. And that, he doesn't claim this, but I believe that's going to create a sort of small calabash effect in there. And yeah, it's just a really interesting design, and I think it's just a beautiful pipe. So thank you, Tim. I'm going to put a link to Tim's channel down below. If you're at all interested in woodworking, go check him out. It's well worth your time. So that's one, you know, wonderful thing that I received, and we all know that we are fortunate to be a part of a very generous community, and the generosity just keeps on going. While I was on vacation, I was contacted by my friend Rick, and Rick goes by the name, I believe, Couch on YouTube. I don't think Rick has any videos on his channel. I think but he comments quite a bit, and you know, I got to know Rick. I did some pipe work for him a while back. Real nice guy. And Rick got in touch with me because his local brick and mortar had a tin of Sugar Barrel available, and he asked me if I would be interested in a tin of Sugar Barrel, and I said yes, of course. And really, without any formality of, you know, I can send a check and all that kind of stuff, on the Monday after I got back from vacation, a box was waiting for me, and here's the tub of Sugar Barrel, 12 ounces, wonderful. And you know, I am going to pay Tim for this. I really appreciate him picking it up. But in terms of additional generosity, Tim also included some really nice things. He included a number of cigars in the box. He included some coffee that he roasts himself, and I've had his coffee in the past. It's really excellent. Did I just call him Tim? I'm sorry, I meant Rick. Got too many people to talk about today. Sorry, Rick. Yeah, so Rick sent me the Sugar Barrel. He sent several cigars, and he included a pouch of tobacco that I am not going to tell you what it is, but it's very interesting, and it's going to be the subject of a future video. And I say that with some trepidation, so there's something to look forward to. But Rick, thank you. I really appreciate you looking out for me. This is one of my all-time favorites, and it's obviously not made anymore, and I will greatly enjoy this. So the The third generosity story that I need to tell you actually involved my trip up to Montreal. And I told you all before I left that I was going to Montreal for the Jazz Festival, and that I had hoped to be able to meet up with my friend Christian, who goes by Bonapiper on YouTube. And Bonapiper does not have videos yet, but I hope that that's something that's going to be rectified in the near future, because he's a fascinating guy. He's a really great conversationalist. Very interesting. And Christian, I think your channel would be a hit. So think about it, my friend. I did get to meet up with Christian. We met on Saturday in downtown Montreal. I think we spent about 6 hours together, and it felt like about 20 minutes. Great guy, as all pipe smokers are, but great guy. We've got a lot in common. We got some food. We found a nice park to sit in. We enjoyed some pipes. We traded some tobaccos, and just talked about life in general. And I really enjoyed it. And I'm looking forward to the next time I can get up to Montreal to hopefully spend some more time with Christian. Really enjoyed meeting him. However, Christian, we obviously exchanged some small gifts. You know, I had some tobacco for him. I made him a tamper, and he likewise had some gifts for me, but they weren't small. And just an incredibly generous guy. And I'm only going to show you a little bit, because it would take far too long to go through the whole list of things. But he had some tobacco for me. He had some a few cigars. He gave me this beautiful lighter. This is a Big Ben lighter. I'm sure you're familiar with these. It's a soft flame butane, really beautiful, leather cased. You're not going to see this down here in the shop, because this is staying next to my chair upstairs where I keep my good tampers and everything, where I smoke pipes when I'm not working here. This is far too nice to have down here, because I know I will ruin it. It's got this neat little set of tools that comes out on the side, pipe knife, a pick, and a tamper. And again, it's a really nice soft directional flame. Works great, very reliable. Butane lasts a long time. Really fantastic gift. And I was very grateful, but a bit embarrassed by the magnitude of it. But then he handed me another box, and in that box was this beautiful Savinelli. And I love this pipe. He actually bought one exactly like this. This is a Savinelli 311. I think it's the Dolomiti finish. And yes, that's right, 311 KS. Really beautiful. I love the stem on this. I think it really goes well with that finish. I like the little accent band as well that they put in there. Great example of Savinelli workmanship. And overall, just a beautiful pipe. But there was a catch. So Christian's been trying to get me to smoke, to try filters for a long time now. And I got to be honest, I've never tried, well, way back, I tried, the Dr. Graybo filters with a Dr. Graybo. And I guess they're the same as the Medco 6mm that you get in the Missouri Meerschaum pipes. And they didn't do anything for me. They just kind of got in the way. And when I hear people talk about filters, the things that they claim are beneficial are things that I don't have a problem with. So they say, it smokes dry and it smokes cool. Well, I believe that any pipe will smoke dry and cool if you smoke it properly, and that's just been my experience. I haven't had pipes where I said, gee, I wish this was a cooler smoke. I just changed the cadence and everything works out fine. So I've been very reluctant to try them. This is starting to go out, so I'll just set it aside. It just seemed like an additional complication to me that I didn't need in my pipe smoking world. But Christian's been very persistent, and he, of course, got me a pipe that accepts a 9mm filter. Now, of course, the 7LE pipes come with an adapter, and that's a godsend because I can smoke it with the adapter if I don't like the filters. So I'm going to put the adapter in there now. But he also, and you know, the 7LEs also come with these neat little balsa filters. And Christian was kind enough to include 3 different versions of the filters that he likes. So I've got a Peterson filter here. I believe that this and this one, the Dr. Pearl Vaughn filter, these are, I believe, activated charcoal. And then a meerschaum filter. And actually, he's gave me a couple of each, so I'm just showing one example of each one. So he really wants me to try these filters, and I decided, well, okay, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it in a scientific fashion, and I'm going to, well, as close as you can get to a scientific fashion in pipe smoking, and I'm going to share this with all of you. So what I'm going to do is, and he also suggested that I should try a blend that I don't necessarily like, that, you know, maybe is a little bit too harsh for me or something. So what I'm going to do is, I have this jar, it's 4 ounces of Peter Stokkebye Luxury Navy Flake. I jarred this up in December of last year. This is a blend that I've wanted to enjoy. It's one that I think I should enjoy, but it's just never worked out for me. It's just always been a little bit too harsh and tangy and things like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to smoke this pipe, and I'm going to smoke the Stokkebye Luxury Navy Flake in this pipe, and I've already rubbed some out, so I'm going to go ahead and pack it. This will actually be the first time I light this pipe up, and I've been very much looking forward to it. And I've rubbed, by the way, I don't normally, you know, I'm normally just kind of a stuff and puff kind of guy when it comes to flakes. I squeeze them in my hand a bit, like ball them up and then put them in. But since this pipe is unsmoked, I wanted to make sure that I get a good burn all the way down to start the break-in. Although it does have a bowl coating on it, so it should be okay. So I'm going to try this. Right now it just has the adapter in there, so there's no filter. Nice open draw. It's got this wonderful Virginia grassiness to the, you know, before you light it, but it just has never really worked out for me, this blend. So I'm going to go ahead and light this up, and then I'll tell you more about what I'm going to do. Yeah, the draw on the pipe is just absolutely perfect. Not too open. Very nice. And the tobacco is exactly what I would expect from Stokkebye's Luxury Navy Flake. Don't get me wrong, it's not a bad tobacco. It's just not my ideal blend. You know, one thing that Christian mentioned is, again, he has the same pipe. The reason he bought it was that I admired his, that he sent me a photo of. He said that it smokes Virginias very well, so that's why I decided to go with this Virginia Flake, Virginia Perique. So it's a bit rough, as you would expect from a first smoke. You know, getting some flavors that are probably not the tobacco. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to smoke this pipe once or twice a week until it's broken in, using just the adapter. So I'm just going to smoke it as a normal unfiltered pipe. And then after it's broken in, after I'm convinced that it's smoking the way I think it should, I'm going to come back to you. I'm going to talk about the pipe and tell you my experience with it. And then I'm going to put in one of the filters. I'll probably start with the balsa filter because that's the Savinelli filter. And I'll smoke a few bowls with the filter. And then I'll come back and I'll do another video and I'll talk about how the filter has changed that smoking experience. And I will do that with each of these filters that Christian provided, and I'll let you know how they behave, how they change the pipe's behavior, how they change the flavor of the tobacco. But it's all going to be this Stokkebye Luxury Navy Flake. I'm not going to smoke anything else in this until I get through all of these filters. And I'll probably do some blogging on this as well, where I can get more into the the dimensions of the pipe and the airway and that kind of stuff, and talk a bit about the airflow restrictions and what may or may not be happening. The kind of geeky stuff that I enjoy that nobody else does. So if you want to follow along with that, you can check out my blog, which you can get to from my website. But I think this is going to be fun. I think this is going to be an interesting series of videos, and I hope you'll all join me. And of course, we'll have the usual chats. This will just be a portion of what we talk about. Smoking very well. Yeah, I love the pipe. It's beautiful. No issues at all with the draw. Yep, fantastic. Tobacco, we'll see how it goes. So with that, thank you, Christian. I really appreciate your generosity. It's quite nice, and next time I come to Montreal, I will be better prepared, my friend. Thank you again, Rick, for looking out for me with the sugar barrel and your generosity. And Tim, thank you for having your contest and for just having such a great channel. Please check out Tim's channel. Watch out for both Bonapiper and Couch in your comment section, because I'm sure they'll be popping up. And with that, I'm going to draw this video to a close. So thank you for sharing this rainy Sunday morning with me. And until we speak again, I will look forward to talking to you all again very soon. Goodbye now.